So Shudder has a new movie, and it's called Daddy's Head. No comment. We're just going to do a review about...
Just the head.
Just all right, so this one has to deal with a woman who recently married a man, and he has a son, and the man dies unexpectedly and leaves the son with her. She is now a mother overnight of a kid she married into and barely knows, and their relationship is not that great to begin with, and now the strain of the death of the father is really pulled them apart, and he has really nowhere else to go, and social services kind of telling her, like, look, I mean, he had no family, it's you or it's an orphanage. And of course she has the guilt, and the guy seems to have had money, so it's not like a financial issue. I don't know why she can't just hire like a nanny or something to help out, because it looks like she's financially...
He's like an architect, so...
I have a hard time, I will say this right out the gate. I do have a hard time sympathizing with people with money.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard.
Literally 99.9% of my problems would vanish in 2 seconds if I had money. So people with money can go fuck themselves, because you got no problems. Anyway, yeah, so then there is something lurking around the house. And I don't know what else to say about that, because that's kind of the thing that you want to experience.
Discover.
So I'm going to let you go first. You know, we watched this last night. I'm still collecting my thoughts when it comes to my like overall opinion of the film. I'm pretty mixed at the moment. Yeah. But what did you think?
I thought this was really fucking scary.
Okay.
I think that the fear actually ended up hitting... I mean, it definitely was... I was feeling it when we were watching, but I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I thought I saw something from the film. Like, I was having that effect, which doesn't happen to me all the time with movies. And there's just some imagery in this that really stuck with me, and it's about a concept that I find particularly really scary in general, which I can't say what it is because it does kind of spoil some things, but just it's already set up to be creepy to me. But I really liked it. I think that you had compared it to a couple movies last night when we were watching, and I think that those were all like apt comparisons, which are kind of maybe things that would also contain spoilers, so it's hard to talk about it here. But I think that it had a really great atmosphere. I really liked the location, the house that it's in. I think that there's like a coldness and an emptiness to that complemented the tone of the film already. And just like I was saying, the imagery I think is very creepy to me. Those are my overall thoughts.
I don't think if I name like 3 films that it feels like, I don't think those 3 films are spoilers, only because I'm while there is an element of one of them that is somewhat similar-ish, I'm more talking about like certain elements and certain tonality that's within these films. So the films being The Babadook, The Lodge, and what was the other one? I just had it on my brain.
I also thought Possum.
Oh, I guess. I mean, I know what you're saying.
For the tone and the atmosphere, because it's like pretty dark.
I wouldn't go with that one. I wouldn't go with that one personally. Oh, the other one was the Night House.
Oh yeah, you were saying that a lot.
The Night House is the one that really stuck, and those are all films I love, by the way. The Lodge, The Night House, and The Babadook are all like, near perfect films to me. So comparing it to those is a good thing. The film for me, I guess my issue with it is it did feel repetitious. I felt like we kind of kept doing the same thing over and over again, and like that just kind of wore thin to me. And this is the kind of film I would typically love. This is totally my style of film, seeing as how I've compared it to 3 films that have all made like my top 3 of every year that they came out. So yeah, this is definitely geared towards my tastes. But for some reason, I did have some kind of a disconnect while watching it that I couldn't seem to reconcile. And that was a bummer to me. Because I have seen a heap of praise for this film from a lot of people. But I'm also seeing the counter argument to this, of course, as with any movie. There's always going to be the haters. But it does seem to be a fairly split film where people are either bored out of their mind or they're like terrified. You seem to fall on the latter of the two.
Yeah.
It
was really scary.
I think that the way the antagonist is handled, that's handled well. Right? Even though, once again, I find that to be a tad repetitious, but it's the strongest element of the film. Now, the acting from everyone is good. I think the atmosphere is good. I don't know. There was just... You know what I think it came down to is I didn't really like our main girl as much. Right? So like in The Babadook, Essie Davis, while not a good person all that much, I really connected with her as a character. Doesn't mean I have to agree with her by any means, right? You don't have to agree with characters to connect with them. It's just there's something that was missing for me in our main character that didn't connect me to the film as much as I would have liked to. And because it really is just like they're grieving, they see a thing, then they get scared, then they do, they handle it in whatever way that they do, and then they go back to it, and it's just night after night of the same thing. It never had that ramping up in like elevation of tone for me, where we were building and building and building to a climax. It kind of felt like the same thing throughout for me. So that's why it never really landed for me personally. I just felt like we kind of kept doing the same thing. So but I still liked it. I still recommend it. I just think that if you found any of the previous films I've mentioned to be boring, then you're not going to like this. If you are a fan of stuff like that, then definitely you should be watching this.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe a second viewing in the future would win me over more. I kept expecting more from it. I just... While I did find what was there to be creepy, I never was, like, creeped out like you.
I was very creeped out.
Yeah. But this is something that really... This thing
really freaks me out.
Yes, every time it happens in a movie, she's always like, oh my God, that's her biggest fear.
It's so scary. Yeah. Yeah, I think, as you said, if you like the other movies that... we thought this kind of reminded us of, I think this is one to check out for sure. So
yeah. It's cool. It's good. It's not I'm not down on the movie. I wanted to love it. This should be like a top 10 film for me, but right now it's definitely not. I could see it being for you, but it's just not for me. So anyway, check it out, let us know. Anything more?
No, that's everything.
Okay.
So.
Adios.
Bye.